G'day everybody, welcome back to the Friday Front Bar here at the All Nations Hotel, thanks to the magnificent brewery Fresh Carlton Draft, Sam Pang, Mickey Malloy.
Hello, gents, it's great to be...
Oh,
Jesus, I'm sick.
Oh, what's happening, Sam?
Can't believe it. What the... What's going on here?
That is irresponsible.
Mate,
Bobby!
Bobby
Where
the
is he?
publican has to do a pre-show inspection of this
have
bar.
to.
Otherwise, we can't go on, can
You
we?
okay? You're right.
That's
You're right to go?
that's
What are you doing? You
disgraceful.
can't leave those there.
Why not?
That's a health and
That's
safety issue.
dangerous.
Yeah, it's health and safety
I'll fix
issue.
it.
Thank you.
Push on. Well done, Mickey.
What was all that about?
Well, it's
what
just
was
a-
all that about?
Thank God it's the last time. I mean, the AFL's pretty keen to get out of this contract. We hear that it's the last game of footy that's ever going to be played at ANZ Stadium, and I say good riddance to the joint.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty poor venue for AFL footy, hasn't
I
it?
prefer going across the road to Skoda. I just find it's like the spiritual home of AFL.
Well, can you remember
It
any-
really is. No, it is.
Have
It's
there ever been any great moments at ANZ Stadium?
Can I just throw up some great moments of that stadium?
Go
And
on.
it'll be sorely missed if that's the last game of AFL that we see.
Yeah, go on.
Well, there was Kathy Freeman's great thing in 2000.
Yeah, that's one. Yep.
John Aloisi putting us into the World Cup in 2005. And that Eminem concert at the end of 2014, that was a cracker.
At ANZ Stadium, they're saying it's an unsafe workplace.
Well, it's been proven
Is
that
it?
it is. Of course it is.
No,
mate. It's no
I'll
good.
tell you. I'll show you an unsafe workplace, Andy. This. Now, that is dangerous. If you're playing AFL, the most dangerous thing that can happen on a ground really is you may get corkied by Sam Mitchell.
Yeah.
But that takes it to another level. He came very close to going off under the blood rule there.
How many weeks for Fanning? I mean, he punched the thing in the back of the head. Was it in play? It was
Well, that's
high.
high. It's
yeah,
intentional.
High. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Would
should
have
he
been
get
high
loose?
impact, wouldn't it?
Well, it depends if the shark adheres to the player code and doesn't give evidence against him.
I
Have
think
you ever seen anything more terrifying in your life?
that's the first time I've ever seen a surfer with a level of urgency. They do it twice in their life. One is when a shark attacks them, and when they've got a wave coming. That's about the only thing. But can I just say something? It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
Right up there with Bazasto's mark in '81.
You know what? I saw those guys. You know the guys on the jet skis when they came in to get him.
Yeah.
I just for a joke. You know the old hitchhiker gag, where you slow down and just as they go, mate, sorry, mate, we'll be right.
Are the Tigers in 2015 the real deal?
I can't believe I'm saying this,
Shh, everyone.
but I am starting to believe.
Bang! There it is.
In saying that, I did think Carlton would make the 8 this year as well. So, you know, mate. But
How you going?
mate,
Well,
how happy are you?
I honestly believe we can win a premiership this year.
Do you believe you are the only natural predator to the Hawthorn Football Club? Is that
Well,
what you
what
honestly
I'm
believe?
saying is, okay, well, they are streets ahead, but there has to be a contender. Now, who's in front of us? Possibly West Coast. But the Tigers, here's what it comes down to.
Possibly. Yeah.
We play Hawthorn in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And you know what it comes down to? If Kochi wins the toss and kicks with the win.
There's a lot to like about the way they're actually going about their business. You must be a really proud Tiger.
I'm happy. Yeah, Big Boy Month was a success.
So what are we going to call it next? What are we going with
Oh,
after
we're
this
coming
one?
into Cocoa Banana Fortnight.
Well, the biggest talking point this week in AFL footy is clearly Brent Harvey, who joins the 400 Club. And the AFL have done a great front cover in the North Melbourne jumper.
That's actually life size. Well done to the record. Great
400,
stuff. That's a
400.
big occasion, isn't
And here
it?
they are, the four Hill
Have a
Junior
look at
Giants,
that.
three
Yeah.
others.
Is that them or is that the Rolling Stones?
Look at that. It looks like a bit of a nerd ranch, doesn't it?
They've all got their first dollar.
Can I just say, I would rather be at high tea at the Langham than hanging out with the 400 Club.
You know what you forget about that the 400 Club, right? It is amazing, but also that Michael Tark, 426.
Yeah.
426. He had one. He's like from the old days when he kind of had a season in the reserves.
More than that, mate. He played about 90 games in the Rezzies. And when he was given the flick from Hawthorn, he thought he had 2 years at least left in him.
Well, I
He
remember
seriously
his
did.
last game against Hawthorn was in the 91 granny where he took apart Craig Turley.
Yeah.
And of course he wanted to play on. So we had 2 years in the reserves, and he also missed a season for service in World War II. Hey, we haven't even spoken about KB. KB, 403 games. His first game was against ancient Rome.
My favourite game, of course, was obviously 1980, but I also like 1982. I loved him standing there looking at Helen D'Amico, going, "Oh, I'd kill for that hair." Love to comb over like that.
Going through 99 for Harvey, at half-time there was what we call in 2015 a melee. The AFL's done a brilliant job of changing the safety of AFL. They're not nearly as violent a workplace as it used to be.
Andrew, I put it to you that there is no safer place on a footy field than being involved in a melee.
This is the only time it got a little bit fair.
Oh, yeah. I know. Mate, I thought you were showing me last week's episode of Dancing with the Stars.
Doesn't that just go to show us how far the game's come and how much better it is than...
It can't be a melee if blokes are walking to a melee. By definition, it can't. That's just not the way a melee is. You want a melee?
I want a melee.
And this is how far the game's come. You're right. 1985 grand final. When the umpire is involved in the melee, that's when you know it's a melee. The umpires are getting pushed around.
Look at that.
There's Van der Haar is
Where's
there.
Dermot?
Well, Dermot is. You know, it was before I was talking about walking to a melee.
Oi.
Here comes Dermot running to a melee.
And that was the first ever sight of the Hawthorn Corky, by the way, because he runs that wide nerve.
You know what was interesting to me about that melee? Not a man bun inside.
Another massive round of games for round 17. The Western Bulldogs Collingwood, that's a big game, isn't it? It's Sunday, the early game. That's a massive game between
Tipping
those two.
another honourable loss to Collingwood.
Well, there's a fair
They're
chance.
racking them up. Cloak's injured, right?
Yep. Yeah, go on, yep.
But I did notice this after the game, Collingwood's game on the weekend, that Travis Farco is taking the recovery session way too seriously. And if you have a look, this is live vision. Do you know what I mean? This is not sped up or slowed down. This is just Travis Farco. Actually, word is the AFL are investigating this because it looks like Travis Farco is tanking that recovery session. Have a look at that, Nicky.
I've never seen anything like that. It's still going. We're not looping this vision. I mean, that is still going.
They should rotate him off.
He's
Clearly going berserk.
They
bring him off the bench weekend at Bernie's style. That works.
And of course, everyone's looking forward to Carlton Hawthorn kicking it off on Friday night. Carlton celebrating the 20th anniversary of their most recent flag, of course, back in '95. And
What are they doing?
well, they're turning back the clock. They're going to try and 90s and up a little bit.
What are they doing
Well,
now?
food prices are going back, drink prices are going back. They're going to have Pluck a Duck. I mean, iconic figure, TV figure from the 90s on Hey Hey It's Saturday.
The players are going to smoke at half time.
Correct. So I think that's a lovely thing that they're doing.
No, if
Try
they
and
really want to
recreate
recreate the atmosphere and the vibe, they should pay all their players in cash. Just the old days. Look, there's Murph. Pay a Murph, that's for you, and then that's for Levi Casper.
People should get along because food prices are going to be at 90s prices. So pies and chips and beers are all going to be at
If they want to
90s.
recreate the magic from the 90s, they should just serve these.
You hungry? You want something to eat? I've got something for you. Here you go. Whoa! What? You want some souvlaki? Well, you'll have to impress me, monkey. Souvlaki up. You'll do anything to get one.
You wonder why the Greek economy's going bad.
Adelaide taking on the Gold Coast Suns this
here
week.
we
Adelaide
go.
got over a very emotional hurdle last week, and they're sort of trying to focus on the task at hand. But did we see in the Suns game last week? Did we see the goal of the year?
It's not bad, is it?
Mickey's right though. It's not bad.
I don't know whether it's the goal of the year, but
I don't think
a lot of
so
people
either.
are saying that it was.
You just said it was.
Yeah, I don't think. I haven't seen it.
It did remind me of one of the great goals, the goal of the year in 1981. Peter Bosustow out at Waverley. Have a look at this.
Cop this in there, Curtis.
Yeah, cop this, Ian. Look at that. Look at the buzz and a snap.
I tell you what, that would have been Souvlaki's all round after that one. Hey!
You know, in 1981, the Buzz won Mark of the Year and Goal of the Year in the same year. But in 1983, right, he won Mark of the Year for the ABC, and Kenny Hunter won Mark of the Year for Channel 7.
Right.
Ken Hunter received a Commodore car, and Peter Bosustow, for winning Mark of the Year in the ABC, won a Malvern Star bike.
Speaking of goal of the year, New South Wales ACT playing Queensland in the girls. Lyle Kassam, she has a bounce at full tilt. Bang, get out of the way, don't argue. Has another bounce. This one's got her covered. Cop that, she goes at full spill. Oh, that's unbelievable.
No, it is good. She read it beautifully off the pack.
That is a great goal, but everyone knows at a boundary throw-in, you got to play tighter on Kassam than that. You know, I mean, she's just given too much room. James Hird been in the news a lot this year for a variety of reasons. Yes. But I thought it was interesting on the weekend that one of his peers, one of his contemporaries, Wayne Carey, in the commentary for Channel 7, came to his defence.
Well, Duck, you know him well. You played against him in all those great matches, I mean, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. He was a great player, and he's turning out to be a...
He's a great player, and he's turning out to be... I want you to finish it. What did he say? He's turning out to be a great...
Leader amongst men.
Visionary, pushing the boundaries, visionary, I would have thought, yeah.
Well, it's Wayne Carey. He doesn't have that many words, of course. Anyway, let's have a look at what Wayne Carey had to say.
Absolutely. He was a great player, and he's turning out to be a very stubborn man.
So that's the nicest.
Is there any higher praise than that?
That is big raps.
Big raps.
A very stubborn man.
It's interesting that a guy has the two nicknames, the Duck and the King. You wouldn't normally think you could have both those, would you? Be either or.
What's your nickname, by the way?
Well, in footy terms, it was Mary. I was playing for Mount Eliza. Listen to me.
Mary.
I was playing for Mount Eliza. I think it was under 12s, and it was, you don't understand, it was a very wet day. And we were away, so I had the white shorts on, and I just didn't want to get dirty. So at the end of
You're telling me story.
I've just got to tell it. So everyone was really dirty, and I came off in pristine white shorts. So the coach, how's that for workplace bullying? The coach has called me Mary. And it stuck. So it didn't matter what I was doing. Everyone go, Mary.
Mary Malloy.
Yeah.
You could have made something up. You could have said a horse, horse balls. You could have said anything, but you come up with
Mary.
What?
It's amazing how your mind works. You just plucked horse balls out of the ether. Out of the ether.
Is that your nickname? Is that your nickname? Was that your nickname? Is that what you're saying?
All right, well, it's time to sign off. From Horse Balls, Mary, and the big fella over here.
Yeah, big fella. That was my nickname.
What's yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
For 1 year of my playing career, I was called the Orchid, right, by my team. It's a bit like Mary.
The Orchid?
For 1 year, I was nicknamed the Orchid by my teammates because, and I quote, I needed absolute perfect conditions to blossom. I needed absolute perfect conditions to thrive. So if it was too hot or too cold, I was useless. But 22 and still, beautiful.
Well, on that note, I reckon we say a goodbye from the All Nations Hotel. Again,
Congratulations, Boomer.
Paid credit to you, Brent Harvey.
Yes.
A magnificent achievement. Well done to
Well
you.
done.
Well done,
We'll
mate.
dip our
Cheers.
lids to you and raise our glasses. That's it for the Friday Front Bar. Yet again, thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft here at the All Nations Hotel.
Nicky's off.
No, that's you. That's you.